Yeah, telling me other stories. Okay, I think we are live. Yeah.
Never been easy to stay in love with you. Venango mutima ukali upanya because of you. A walking memory lane, it feels like yesterday. When you say I do, baby boy, I am the one for you. Bayesa kupanya, bafuna kutiluvyanya. They don't know what we've been through when I'm new. They don't know what we've been doing and new. I'm feeling it.
See Mac Mr. Dazzle.
It's your boy.
Good morning and welcome to Zambia Blog Talk Radio. My name is Roger Charlie here in Alberta, Canada. We are talking about saving and investing. We'll talk about stock options. The investing basics, stock options. Again, I've got my good friends here in the United States. Levi is in, where are you, Levi?
Newark, Delaware.
Newark, Delaware. Yeah, I know that place. And then Brian is in
Middletown, Delaware.
Middletown. Yeah. Okay. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So we want to start this long discussion for at least until every Zambian, every Kenyan, every African has started to invest on the, I don't know if on the stock market, or at least they are doing something. So we want to look at those things. Before we started, Levi, I said to you, especially members of the diaspora, the opportunities which are available for us as far as investments is concerned. Talk about that.
First of all, Roger, thank you so much for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be on here and to talk about investing, because what happens when we come together and share this kind of information, we learn a lot from each other.
That's correct.
Again, the market is nobody knows, nobody can foretell the market. You know, no one has the crystal ball about the market. So it's all about information. It's all about coming together and sharing ideas. So as you asked, there's a lot of opportunities in the market, and as I said yesterday, anybody can be an investor. My grandmother back home can be an investor. The person back home tending to their farm can be an investor. Investment is about looking at opportunities. I know there's a lot of jargons around, big words around investment, but at the end of the day, I'm buying A and I will sell it, at a profit. For whatever reason I want to buy it, that's all that encompasses investment. So, the opportunities are endless.
The opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
Brian, how much does it take for someone to start investing? Some of the the deals you are sending me, it's surprising. How much does one need to start investing? Say either in stocks or in options or any other crypto now. How much does one need to have?
Yeah, thank you very much, Roger, for having me here. It's definitely an interesting world out there. As far as how much a person needs to have, I personally don't think there's a minimum or maximum. It all depends on what that person has available. Even $100, just to give a number,
exactly.
even $100 can put you in a position to even earn 10 times that amount. The idea is to have the willpower to actually take the first step.
Yeah.
And then, acquiring the knowledge comes with the experience that you gain over time. So just having the basic knowledge is enough to start. There's so much material out there on YouTube. You can Google stuff you don't understand. But basically, even $100, $50 can, set you apart and, give you a good return.
The key point, Brian, is starting. I tested a crypto the other day with $20. I started, and I bought it was a fraction of Ethereum, but I started. It started.
Right, and that's a key point.
Yeah.
The key point is to get your feet wet, to take that risk of just starting, and then everything begins to fall in place, where you start, creating a community of people that are doing the same thing, and you start gaining knowledge. They start giving you links to different, articles that you read through, and then you begin to understand. And then also it's about the personality of a person. What kind of investments would you be interested in? So once you figure that out, then you can say, what, this is my path, and I'm going to surround myself with people that have knowledge in this sector, and I'm going to take it up from there. But like everything else, you just have to start.
You just have to start. Levi, a lot of people, again, when they hear about investment, the next question they have in their head is, I'm going to lose money. And the question I have to those people and to myself is, where is that money now? I didn't invest, but do I have that money? Do I still have that money? Yes.
If you can allow me, if I can just go a little bit back in the days I started investing, I used to listen to a lot of the big investors, the Warren Buffett of this world. And there's one thing I noticed when they used to speak, and what I found was I wanted to hear the big words, the earnings, the profits, and all the words that go with the business. But
yes.
the one thing I got from them, they were only talking about mindset, communication. They were using very soft words when it came to investing. And I realized one thing: when it comes to investing, it's about your mindset, and not even whether you're making a profit or not. Because for them, even when the market is red, even when your stock is going down, if you have the right mindset and you know why you bought the stock, you see red and you close your laptop and go to the because if I invest in your radio station and I know it's going to grow. So if COVID happens and it goes down, I know why I bought. If I have one reason that I can remember, this is why I bought this stock.
Yeah.
It doesn't always go up every day. So, but I know I have a reason. I bought this because of this reason.
Yeah.
I will be able to prevail in the market. So that's how I approach investing. If I can remember one good reason that I bought this stock, I will prevail the red days, and I know one day it's going to be green, and I'll take profit.
I like that. Therefore, Brian, what he is saying, a lot of us, I don't know if it is the African in us, the Zambian in us, we want to invest today and make a profit tomorrow. That is the idea. On average, if you want to sleep well, you see the market go up, the market go down, without getting worried when it comes to investing. On average, what should be my time frame of looking at my real returns be?
I can give you a good example. And just to kind of go back on what Levi just said,
Mm-hmm.
it's about the mindset. You know, when you see on television, we've had these conversations before, you see on television that Best Buy is offering 50% discount on their products. People rush them.
Right.
You know, they buy stuff, and right there, they're losing money without any return. And we've had this conversation where, you know, I was quoting Mr. Wonderful to you, that he says, when I send my money, I'm sending my money as soldiers. When they go there, they need to capture other soldiers and bring them back. And then he says, but when you send your money out there, your soldiers, they all die, right? So in light of that, it's about the mindset. What do you want to achieve in 5-10 years from now? I can give you a good example of a stock that I found 4 years ago. It was at 10 cents. I bought in, not actually even knowing what I mean, I knew what the company was about, but I didn't know all the intricate details behind, you know, the stock. But then in the process, I found out that, you know, the company had sued Google for infringement on their patents. They had sued SK Hynix, which is a big South Korean company that's it's the third actually largest company that does semiconductor chips in the world. So they had sued these companies and Samsung. So in the process of time, I was finding out all this information. And then I was like, now I believe in this stock. I'm going to hold on. I'll consider the money that I've invested in as money that I've lost. But in the process of time, you know, things started coming out. Now the stock is at almost $3.
How much was the stock when you first bought it?
10 cents.
Did you buy the stock?
Yes, I did. Even now I hold it.
Wow.
So it's about having this mindset that in 5-10 years from now, I want to be at this position in my life. I want to be able to even help out other people. I want my children to have this kind of beginning in their lives. So that mindset drives you to be patient. There are people that I introduced to this stock, but because they didn't probably have the same mindset as I had, or they didn't have the patience to wait, you know, they sold out. And some of them, they sold out at a loss because they had bought at a higher price. So the mindset should be able to give you that comfort that I'm in this for the long haul. And I remember from the last conversation we had on the show, Yona was saying that most of these stocks, even though they go down, they're mostly on the upward trend. So they'll go down a little bit. Yes. Just wait. And I said to most people that your character is built in the low values of the graph of the stock. What are you going to do when the stock goes down? In that sense, look at Amazon. 20 years ago, Amazon was was $10. I know that for sure. Do you want to be that person that sold Amazon at $10 when now it's at $3,000 a share? So you have to have that mindset of being patient.
Amazon is 3,000 shares now.
$3,000 a share now.
Wow.
20 years ago, it was under $10. So how long is your investment horizon? You know, I can quote Warren Buffett saying, you know, people that make money on the stock market are not the day traders. It's those that invest on the long-term basis. So like back to what Levi was saying, it's the mindset.
The mindset.
Where you want to be from, you know, 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
That's the stamina we want to build in the African, in the black person. I mean, even others, but we care for our people first. You know, we need to be part of this this ecosystem. We are going to look at the stock options just a little bit. Today, what kind of platforms are there which are allowing? I know back in the day when I was in Delaware, I wanted to do some investments. 10 years ago, it was, talk to a broker, Levy. But nowadays, how is it?
There's nowadays I cannot even count. For a beginner, if you want to get your feet wet, Robinhood is the best app out there for a beginner, because it's if you look at its user face, it's very user friendly. It's very easy to start. I started with Robinhood, but as you start getting a little bit advanced, you know, there's interactive brokers, there's Webull, there's Brian, what do you use? There's TD Ameritrade, there's there's a lot of platforms out there which you can use, and depending on your strategy, there are some you can be able to trade pre-market and post-market. For example, Webull and TD Ameritrade. Interactive Brokers is very good if your strategy is shorting stocks. They have a lot of stocks available for shorting. So just depending on, as you get more advanced, you know, you can pick whatever platform that suits your strategy. But for beginners, Robinhood will be the best. It's very easy. You just download the app, you know, put in $100 there, and already have your feet wet.
Actually, as we go, some of these platforms will be repeating every week. What our advice is, not every platform works in every country properly. Robinhood, I hear, is very good in the United States. I don't know about UK, but over here, I've got other platforms which work well. They overcharge you fees if you are. It's like an international transaction. If I use maybe Robinhood, so for my cryptocurrency, I used. Okay, as we go, I want you gentlemen to be having a list. You'll be posting the links here so that people who are following us every Sunday morning, they can go to those links. But yes, I agree. The app you should look at. Those who are watching us live, if you have a question, please post it either, or if you're on Facebook, you are seeing us on Facebook, post a question. We are going to read it and see where we go. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, you can send a question. But we'll be sharing these links, gentlemen. That way our people can also participate. It can be an interactive discussion. Let's go touch on the stock options levy. Maybe even next week we'll do the same. We'll talk about stock options, and then Brian will come back with stocks the other week. We'll see how it goes. Talk to us, Levy. What is the difference between stocks and stock options?
Okay, so stock option is a very wide subject, right? But I just want to put it as simple as it can, just for the sake of the listeners. So let's say, for example, it's an Apple stock. That's an asset. A stock is an asset. A stock is an investment. You're buying stock. So when you buy a stock, you're expecting it to go up so that you can make a profit. So options, in its very simple term, is pretty much just insurance. For example, let me use an example of a car. When you buy a car, you want to insure it, right? So if your car is whatever $10,000, you you can pay $500 to insure your car. And what happens with insurance, there are two things. There's the payment, what you pay, the $500 to insure your car, and there's an expiration date. Like insurance ends. Let's say you're insuring your car for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. So that's how I can explain options. You have an Apple stock, but you foresee in the near future the market will be volatile. You think the market will go down, so you get an option or an insurance for it. But to put it simply, we can take advantage as traders of the opportunity that options offer in the market. So, for example, instead of buying the Apple stock, we can buy the Apple option, which is cheaper, and it comes in. Insurance or the options, they come in bundles of 100. So if your bet is Apple will go up in the near future, we call it a call. So you buy a call that Apple will go up in the near future. But if you think if you think Apple will go down in the near future, we call it a put option. So there are two kinds of options. There's a call options, which you're betting it will go, and there's a put option, which is the same as shorting a stock. You're betting go down. But just the opportunity that it offers is, if Apple is $100, you can get an option for Apple for $5. So it gives you an opportunity to, if you have less money, you can still be able to trade in Apple.
Actually, just on there, I was listening to our broadcast, yesterday's broadcast, because when you're doing a discussion like this, it's not easy to listen. You are thinking of the next question. So you talked about the options; they are much cheaper.
Yes.
So, like Brian here gave an example of Amazon. Amazon is at 3,000.
Absolutely.
And in that case, the option will be like how much?
So if Brian, what would be the option of? Can I check it real quick?
Yeah. We need these screens. We need these screens.
Just give me one.
Okay, just give an example. Don't worry.
So if I see here. So Amazon is 3,000, right? So
the stock.
Yes, stock is around 3,000. So if I want to buy an option for, let's say, one that expires in May, the option is 116.
Wow.
Yeah, but bear in mind, options comes in bundles of 100. So 116, that will be, 11,000. Because you don't buy one; they come in bundles of 100. But let me give you a simpler example. Let's say, for example, NIO stock, the electric vehicle company. It's now down 30 something dollars. I will get an option maybe for May, June for around $2, $1.50.
Oh wow!
So that's only.
Say that again. Say that again.
So NIO is around the opportunities that options present, right?
Yes.
If I was to buy 100 shares of NIO, and NIO is around, let's assume.
How do you spell NIO? How is it spelled?
NIO.
NIO. Yes.
NIO. NIO.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'll put here for our. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So if I was to buy 100 shares of NIO, that would, and let's assume NIO is around $40 now. If I was to buy 100 shares of NIO, that would cost me $4,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if I don't have $4,000, but I want to I want to be able to trade NIO because I believe it has a potential. Now this is where options come in. I can go and get a NIO option that maybe expires in, let's say June, July, I can get an option for maybe $1 or $2. So if I'm buying 100, that will only cost me $200.
$200.
Yes, and I'll be able to place a trade in NEO. So those are the,
so right now, new stock is how much?
Right now,
it's closed at 38.12.
38.
Right.
Yeah,
38.
yes.
38.
$38.12.
12 cents. And new, I'll type it for our, and new stock option, stock option, go ahead, is equal to how much?
So so this is what happens with options. As I said, they're insurance, right? So
yeah, but how much is it right now? I want to type it here. The option.
Now it will depend with the time you want to give it, because insurance has time. It might be 1 month, it might be 6 months, it might be 1 year. So this is what happens. The closer the date to expiration. Let's say I take I buy an option that is a month out. It's going to be very cheap, but opportunities come with their risks. Because it's cheap, because it only has a month to expire.
Yeah.
So there might, when I buy it and it doesn't go up in 1 month, it will be very hard for me to find someone else who
to buy.
Yes, because
yeah,
it's so you have to be very careful when trading options. Like I always try to get something that is at least 4, 5, 6 months out, because then it gives me the time for it to go up, one, and I can get someone who will be interested to buy it from me. So that's the one risk, I really have to stress when it comes to options. You don't want to get an option that is very that's in the near future. Let's say a week out or 2 weeks out, because when it expires as well.
So give us an example to work with. NEO stock right now is at 8.12. 6 months out will be like how much?
So 6 months out. 6 months out is we're in April, right? So 6 months, May, June, July,
October.
So we're talking of October. So an October option, if I want to call, so this is the thing. If NEO is 38, right?
Yeah.
And my goal is, I think NEO will go to 40. So the option will cost me around $7. So if I buy in a bundle of 100, that's $700. But if I was to get something that is very near, let's say for example May, 7th May, and I call that NEO will go to 40, it's gonna be $2. So you see the difference. May is $2 and October is $7, because what they factored in is you have a better chance if you buy an option that is longer than an option that expires in the near future.
Okay, it's a any other examples you think you are dealing with? This is new stock. Any other stocks or options you are dealing with?
Okay, so there are some. I have a lot of stocks here. There are some stocks.
I like that.
There are some stocks you can buy in the near, let's say 1-2 months out, depending on how you know the stock. There are stocks that are very volatile. They tend to move up because they have I don't know. I think Brian will talk about volume and outstanding shares. So they tend to move up a lot. So those ones you can take a little bit of a chance and buy a cheaper option that expires in let's say a month or 2. But a stock like NEO is a solid stock. It moves very slowly. So you don't want to take a chance with that, buying an option that expires too early.
Okay.
Like Kodak.
Again, to those who are listening, you are live, you have a question, please post it. We are not financial advisors. We are just here to talk about money. So please don't go buy a stock, and if it you loses your money, and then you say, Brother Roger, what did you do to me? No, we just bring information we want to share with everyone. If you have a good idea or good stock, please post it, and then we can see. Brian, did you want to add anything before we continue?
No, Levi is the stock option guru, so
stock option.
I have a different specialty.
Yeah, stock options, Levi. Do you buy them on the same platforms we talked about?
Yes. So the platform I use is Webull, but
okay.
Stock options you can pretty much buy them in every platform. We will have the opportunity to buy options.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah. Even Robinhood has it.
Oh, has that element?
Platforms have. I think all platforms have options.
Okay. I mean, those are things, and I want to make sure every week when I talk about something, I go and look for it, and I experiment, even $20. So if you are out there, you are listening to the program, or you'll be listening to the recorded one, don't be afraid that you need $1,000 or whatever. Just 50. I mean, he's talking about $2 here to buy an option. Then you see what happens. You see what happens.
Just to add on a little bit to what Levi said. So say for instance, like he's talking about the NEO stock option, right? So say you buy the option at say $2, right? You're buying the option that you have the option to purchase NEO at say $37 in 3 months, right? So if NEO in 3 months goes up to $50, you can call that option and buy NEO at $37, then turn around and sell it on the market at $50, and you make the difference. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you can either trade in stock options as a whole, or you can actually exercise what is known as exercising the option to buy at that set price, and then which is actually, if for a core option is lower than the market price. So then you make that difference.
Yes, what you're saying, Brian, is very true. So what happens with options, there's, as I said earlier, there's a lot of opportunities with options. So for me personally, what I do, my trades are, I think they're called naked options. I just trade the options. But what you're saying now is, there's covered options, there's the exercising part you're talking about. So mine is just like a narrow part of options. That's what I specialize. But I've never before, gone to get a covered option or exercising it. I just buy the options as a fraction. It's like I'm buying a fraction of NEO. So that's that's what I try to specialize in.
Mr. Mulumbi, Mr. Chalwe here is asking, what is your take on investing in individual stocks versus index funds? If you can make it, Brian, very simple here. When he talks about individual stock, it is the example of Amazon. That's an individual stock, right?
That's an individual. You want to just buy Amazon as a stock.
That is individual, yeah.
Right. But when he talks about index funds, it's a collection of stocks in one fund that make up that index. So ETFs work? Are those index? Exchange traded funds, right?
Yeah.
So there is I guess leveraging within the index. If one stock goes up within the index, the other one goes up. So there's that leverage. But for me personally, and this is not an advice to anybody, for me personally,
disclaimer.
I have to put in a disclaimer. For me personally, I like individual stocks because of my personality and because of the higher returns that I see. And I like following the stories on the individual stocks. So I was talking to a friend that is not a finance major, is not a business major, is in psychology and liberal arts. So he's well invested, pretty decent account. So his take is that his personality is such that he looks at the behavior of companies and the behavior of people, and that's how he makes his individual investments. So, like I said, for me personally, I like individual stocks because I can pick on one. And I've picked on some that I've lost money on and some that I've lost money on, but overall, it's been green. I don't know if that answers.
It does. Let's put it this way: the returns on individual stocks, if you can hit good, they are much higher than in the index. Could that be?
Yes.
Yeah. On percentage rate, what would be the difference? If a good stock is giving you money, what is the percentage?
I've had 1,000% return before
on a stock.
On a stock, yes.
And if that stock was in an index, what could be the thing?
Let me just try to answer that, Brian. How I look at it, like, take for example S&P 500. S&P 500 in a year, a good year, it will give you like, let's say 16%, right? 10 index funds, a good index fund will give you roughly 10%. So for me personally, as Brian said, it depends with your with your character,
with your scare nature.
So disclaimer too. I love risk.
Risk is good.
I would rather risk to make 100% than no, I'll make 16% in a year and be guaranteed. I would rather, investing comes with its own. You have to love to be an investor. Just doing research and putting your feet wet and trying to figure out why should I buy A instead of B. Like it's all about passion. It's all about I want to hit the 200, 300, the 1,000% Brian talked about than being guaranteed I'll make 16%. But there are very good index funds out there, like ARK Invest. ARK Invest last year hit around over 100%, right?
ARK Invest, what's the spelling again?
ARK, they're called
ARK,
ARK. So if you really want to make good money and you're not a risk taker, I would advise ARK Invest.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing with, I think that's what Roger, I mentioned that to you earlier. Kathy Woods is the big anchor of ARK Invest, and their portfolio is open to the public. So in a way, you can actually mimic their investment strategy. And they show the stocks that they're buying into on a daily basis. They show how many positions, how many shares they have in each stock, what the market value of that position is.
Yeah, so you can actually sorry to cut you, Brian. You can actually subscribe to their website, and they can be sending you their portfolio to your email every day, what they're buying and what they're selling. So as you said, I mimic them, by the way. So I look at what they're buying, I do my research and buy the individual stock in their index rather than buy their whole index.
Because you have to understand that these guys have tons of money at their disposal, so their due diligence is pretty robust, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah. So someone saying my budget is tight. What do we say to such a guy who say my budget is tight? I can't put $2 or $100 in a stock. I've got my own personal example, gentlemen. I've got I don't know, maybe 10 subscriptions. I'm paying like 200. Netflix, I pay this system here, Zoom, this. So I was wondering today whether just cutting out some of these subscriptions could mean me investing. What's your take on that? When some of us say, my budget is quite tight, I can't. Is there some opening everyone has in our budgets to put some money in the in investing in the stock market?
Well, it's interesting when you say that, and saying that my budget is tight sometimes can be pretty relative. The person is saying my budget is tight, but every weekend they're at the mall. You know what I mean? So the idea is to cut out what's not really necessary. I've read books where people say that you don't buy luxury things with money that you work for. You buy luxuries with money that you earn on the stock market because somebody else is paying for it. So when you get to that point where you say that, okay, A, B, C, D need to be cut out because this is not giving me a good return, you cut it out. And you just, and the thing is, like we said before, you don't, like in life, I don't believe in starting big and making it like right away. You start small, baby steps, just like nature. You start small, you invest, in one stock. Before you know it, you've gained enough knowledge to invest in another stock. Before you know it, there's a good return that you sell out and buy into another stock. And that's how you start. That's how life works. And that's how, right. and the idea is to teach even the younger ones, that are in high school, getting into college, to invest. Because in 20 years' time, when they're in their 40s, they will have a lot of money at their disposal.
You can also add on to that, Levi. Mm-hmm. I don't know, again, if it's just black people, mm-hmm. This idea of inheritance doesn't a place like the stock market, you just put money there, you forget about it. Mm-hmm. When your children are 20 years old, or when you are long gone, you have something to give them. Isn't this one of the most beautiful things we can do for our generations? Sometimes I was preaching to myself, one of the ways we can, I don't want to preach, but what I've found, Levi, is that especially the black people, we don't build wealth to pass to our children. Mm-hmm. Number one, we don't save and invest. Mm-hmm. Okay, generally, mm-hmm. in the black community, whether black Americans or Africans. Mm-hmm. This also has gone to our countries. Mm-hmm. Our countries don't save and invest the way the Chinese or the Israelis do, but we would rather go begging to the IMF. Mm-hmm. So just talk a little bit about that to encourage ourselves. Mm-hmm. The idea of saving as a people, number one. Mm-hmm. This also will one day go to as a nation.
I think from a very personal opinion, right? Especially when I got into the stock market. Personally, I wanted to make a quick buck. As I said,
African.
where that came from, being born and raised in Kenya, I will see the people who had money, they were making a quick buck. I will see politicians, this guy today, tomorrow, he's a millionaire. Someone gets a whatever government contract, he has money. So in my mindset growing up, I knew to be wealthy, you have to get a deal, you have to make a deal. It's personally, I thought to be wealthy, you have to make a quick buck, you have to make a deal, you have to know people. That's how I was raised. And that's how I even got in the market, because I was a day trader. I used to, as they call it, scalping. I will pick a trade that is moving so fast. I want to get in, I want to get out, I want to make my money. I'm good, I'm happy. Till I I lost quite a bit of money day trading. What I realized is, as Warren Buffett says, the stock market is a medium where money is transferred from the impatient to the patient. And I realized, as long as you're patient and you have a goal and you can see it through, you will always make money. If you have a vision, for example, look at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin, in my opinion, if you can give it another 5-10 years, you just put your money there, I don't think you will need to work again. Personally, this is a thing. We think long term. As Africans, and I'm also I know that affected me too. We do not think long term. If
I like his next question. I like even at is it 50? I don't know if it's 50 there. It is around 70 here. The Canadian money, Bitcoin, 70. We are still scared to buy some because we are thinking it will crash tomorrow. We are still scared. What is wrong with us? I don't know. Let's see what Mr. Our good friend here, he will be joining us, I'm sure, on Sunday, 11 Eastern. If it's Zambian time, that is, I'm going to figure it out. Let's see what he's saying here. What proportion of each asset class would you recommend to have in a portfolio for someone new to trading and thinking of investing in the market for 5 to 10 years? So first, I like the 5 and 10 years thinking. If all of us, Zambians, Kenyans, Africans, black people, start thinking in terms of 5, don't think like in 2 years' time you can die. No, you are not going to die. Yeah, but go ahead, you guys, to this question. What would be the proportion of your investment? Party in, go ahead.
Brian, you want to go first or I go?
Oh no, you go ahead first. Go ahead first.
Yeah, that question.
It's a pretty loaded question.
As I say, personally, investment for me, I look at the future. What is the future? Right now, it's electric vehicles. It's solar. People now are talking about going to the moon, to the space. So I will have a portfolio of a couple of electric vehicles, a couple of solar stocks, solar energy, the plugs, the blinks. Pretty much. That's what I'll have in the next 5-10 years. There's a lot. That question comes with a lot.
It's a loaded question.
Yeah.
So like for me, I'm straight up stocks, and the very small, I guess, fraction of crypto. So this is how I look at things. Like Levi says, electric cars, that's the future. Solar, that's the future. Crypto stocks, companies that are involved in the technology that supports cryptocurrency, that's the future. Medical marijuana, cannabis, that's the future. So if you can, and why I look at it is I look at big companies like Tesla, Amazon, Walmart. I go back on the graph, when they first started, what prices were they around, right? And then in my mind, I'm looking for that one stock that I can buy at 5 cents and be $200 in the next 10, 20 years, right? So my mind is always spinning like that. What is that one stock that I can buy 50,000 shares of and just sit and wait?
Yeah.
For me, that's the idea. That's how I look at it. As a result of that, I'm not looking at other asset classes like bonds or ETF, like ETFs, and my focus is pretty narrow. I'm looking for good stocks to invest in, but just that one stock that I can buy a truckload and it will pay off at some point.
So according to his question here, when he talks about asset classes, he's talking about bonds, he's talking about stocks, he's talking about options, he's talking about crypto.
Yes.
Are you therefore saying there is no magical, or it is according to your test? What are the analysts saying you should have? 10% of each, 5% of each, or it is according to what your stomach can stomach?
So the first thing is you have to be pretty rounded to invest in so many different asset classes, because each one of them requires a unique level of understanding. Oh,
that's a good point.
Because even in the workplace, there's specialization that these guys trade in bonds, these trade in stocks, So for you to be able to encompass 10 asset classes in your portfolio, you have to be pretty well rounded. And then you have to also have the time to do the research for you to be able to get into those stocks. So, and that's why I'm saying my focus is on stocks, but within the stocks, I look at different sectors, different industries that are of interest to me and that I look at as the future. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Apple was like $6 or even less, right?
Yeah.
But because that was the beginning of, handheld devices that are pretty sleek. If somebody had invested then, they would have made a good back. Roger, you were in Delaware when Blockbuster started closing shop, right? When Netflix came on, and Netflix was a penny stock. Look at Netflix now. So once your light bulb goes off and you see that, why are all these companies shutting down because of this company? Then you begin to look in that sector and be like right now, there's a worldwide shortage of semiconductors. In fact, tomorrow the president will be meeting with the tech companies to find a way, because that is becoming a national security issue. So what companies are involved in semiconductors? You start looking at that. You see what I mean? So there's a whole lot of things that you need to look at. So it becomes very difficult for someone to invest in a whole wide range of asset classes. That's for big companies, hedge funds.
Big companies, those who are employed full-time analyzing stocks. Okay,
right.
Okay.
Right.
So, Mulumbi, Bacharwe, much easier. If you are going big, people, there should be people who can probably look at your question. But for a small investor like ours, what we are saying is that find where you are comfortable and concentrate there. Because imagine diversifying. Can I diversify, gentlemen, with $1,000? I can.
Yes. Well, if you're talking about just stocks, right? So like I said, within the framework of the stock market, straight up stocks, there are different industries. There's the tech, there's retail, there's healthcare, there's pharmaceuticals. So all those you can diversify, because the price movement in each sector is different. With COVID, you've seen that Amazon is doing well. Walmart is doing well. Other stocks are not doing well because of COVID. So there's a fluctuation in different sectors of the stock market because of different news or economic situations going on.
Okay, so next week we'll start. You take us in plain English, Levi. Same time. We are plain English. Now you introduce it. What is an option? You are going to bring us some links to the apps, so we can share the apps. Would want some, not necessarily recommendations, but they are going to be recommendations.
Right.
These are the stocks options we are looking at, so that we can share with our listeners. But we want to make it as beautiful as possible. There are a lot of affiliate programs, by the way. So our radio maybe can make money. You guys, if you have these affiliate programs, if we sell someone subscribe to an app or something, we can make a buck. All of us can make a buck. I know there are affiliate programs in crypto. I've just seen that. So we want to bring this excitement every week. What was the winning option, the winning stock, the performance of stocks, stuff like that. What do you think?
Go ahead, Levi.
Sounds good, right, Levi?
Oh,
sounds good.
that's the question.
Yeah.
For the week, yeah, this I can say, Brad, since February 19th, the market has been on a serious downward trend. Especially the stocks I like to play with, the growth stocks, the EVs, electric vehicles, solar, cannabis stocks, they've been on a downtrend. So if someone wants to get in the market, right now would be the best time. Because I always believe when you're buying in the market when it's red, your risk is very low. Because a stock can only fall for so much. You know, most people are scared when the market is falling, but that is when the sharks come in to buy. When the market is fearful,
they smell blood. They smell blood.
Yeah. So I can pretty much say every stock, electric vehicles, solar, cannabis, you can close your eyes and buy any stock, right?
So just to give you a snippet of. So me and my circle of friends, I came across, so I was looking at cannabis stocks, looking to see which one hasn't taken off yet. So I found Sandio. It's a Canadian, Sandio Growers. It's a Canadian stock. It was around 50 cents at the time, and I was kind of hesitant to go in. But then when it reached $1, I was like, no, this is it. I'm just going to jump in and wait what happens. Within 2 weeks, it was over $3.
Wow!
A group of us bought. Within 2 weeks, it was over $3. And something happened in the news, and all the cannabis stocks started going down.
You didn't take it?
I exited. I got out. So now it's back at $1. So now I'm waiting to see how low it's going to go, and then I can get back in. So sometimes you're going to get into something and just stay in for like 3-4 weeks and get out. Other times you need to have a vision that I need to go somewhere with this. Yeah. Like the stock I mentioned that bought around 10 cents. I've been in it for like 4 years now.
Brian, can you give me some of your patience, Brian?
I had to learn this over time.
I'm getting out, huh?
You know, when you lose money, when you lose hard-earned money, you begin to learn some things instinctively. You begin to, So now I have enough patience. Like this one stock that, I was looking at the green. I'm like, I can do something good with this money, right? But then I was like, you know what? I'll just stay because I know where this is going. I looked at, this decent research. I was like, I know where this is going. I'm going to stay for the long haul and just wait. This might be my Amazon,
Because personally, when I'm placing a trade, I think long term. But when it's in the money, I think short term. I have to get that money. Because I always, my belief is there's always a stock somewhere in the red that I can buy, I can buy with that money. So when I place a trade, I'm like, if this thing will take me a year to get my profit, I will wait. But if it's in the green tomorrow, trust you me, Brian, I'm taking that money.
Patience, brother, patience.
We are coming to the end of the discussion. Big brother here, Whitney Lukuku in British Columbia, says you need to also look at what is the next big thing. I like that.
If I can throw in one word there, genomics too. Genomics is big. Anything related to genes, yeah. And yes, the index fund you're talking about, they're also big on that. So,
for me, when it comes to thinking what is the next big thing, I'm still thinking blockchain is going to be huge. Blockchain, not only with crypto, but to solving a lot of our problems, including solving politics. So a good question here. Here in Canada, we have what is called the Wealthsimple. This is what my family, we are using this one. My family, my wife, myself, my son, we are all in Wealthsimple. They don't charge you trading fees, I think.
Commission. So most of these brokerage apps, they've eliminated commissions. They used to charge like $5 for every transaction, regardless of how many shares. Yeah. But now they charge you commission on a stock that is less than $2. That's a penny stock. If you're buying a stock that's less than $2, they'll charge you $5 for the transaction. But if it's higher than that, it's all free.
He also says invest money you can afford to lose. To that, Walukuku, I say at the beginning, invest money. But when you go deep into this, even money you can afford to lose. Invest.
That's a good point.
That is very true, because before I will have my rent money when I started to investing, and I'm like, let me put the rent is too. Yeah, if that thing goes down.
You see this man, even rent money is
dangerous. I put it in the market. So that is very
dangerous.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
When you risk rent money, you need to have a backup plan that you have someone to go and stay with for a little bit.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We will be coming every Sunday and Saturday, maybe to introduce, maybe not Saturday. We'll leave Saturday to other programs. The people thought Saturday program was too quick. I was finishing. So this one has 1 hour. Levi, have you seen how 1 hour has gone? So, yeah. Invite other people, same time, which is 11 Eastern. Join us, which was 9 plus 8, 17 hours Zambian time. Join us. We'll be giving out some vouchers as well, especially to people back home. You want to buy a certain stock, we'll find a way. I was looking for Levi and Brian here. I was looking at the news today. They sent me MTN is about to go IPO, big time, 5 billion valuation. MTN is a phone company in Africa. And you see, all of us are just making phone calls, using them. It's time you bought into that. So we'll find a way how people can buy into the MTN stock through the Kenya Stock Exchange or Nigeria or South Africa. But thank you, Bachalwe. Thank you, Big Brother Walukuku. Invite friends. Let's meet again next week at the same time. My name is Roger here in the mountains, in the Rockies. Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Roger.
Yeah.
Never been easy to stay in love with you. Venanga mutima ukali upanya because of you. Never can memory lane, it feels like yesterday. When you say I do, baby boy, I am the one for you. Bayesa kupanya, bafuna kutiluvyanya. They don't know what we've been through when I knew. Bayesa kupanya, bafuna kutiluvyanya. They don't know what we've been through when I knew. Bayesa kupanya. Bayesa kupanya.
See Mac Mr. Dazzle. XYZ.
Shagwa.